You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Michael, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
All right, welcome back to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. It's 90s night. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
We've been having a 90s nostalgia dance party of our own here on Zoom.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to a bar and pump out the jams.
Yeah, we're going to tell you about all the things that make us go,
I'm Bell, that's Biv, he's DeVoe, and we are back.
Slinging some poison.
Yeah, that girl is poison.
Guys, I told you Klempt was coming back, and he came back.
Yeah.
I am here for it. I want to hear every detail.
It was like the night before last time we
Yeah,
talked, so
it was. It was.
You've left us hanging for quite a
It
while.
was Klempt Klatenberg Eve. It coincides with your fake birthday. Yeah, it was a success. They were shocked. Jaws dropped.
You got to paint the scene for us. How did
it
he
was
arrive?
a scene. First off, I had told him somewhere between 5 and 6 will be when I'll tell you to start heading over. It was like we started at 2. We started playing that day, and they were traveling to this one location in Story, and where they would eventually find him, and totally not expected. He was not supposed to be there. It was off the table as a possibility. So, but it takes longer than you think to do things in that game. So by the time it got around 5, I was like, it's looking more like 6,
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, 6:30. I was like, just be in my driveway at 6:30. I'll make it happen. And so at 6:26 or something,
We've already established that Jesse would be willing to do pretty much anything
while we're playing
for the game.
While we're
Passion
playing
for the game.
I sent you guys the picture. He and I were messaging while we're playing. He says, he's like, okay, because I told him that his character will be revealed as a auction item at this night auction. Well, I didn't tell him that, but I told him he would be in a cage or whatever when he, that he's been trapped in. And he's like, he sends me a picture with a potato sack over his head or something, right? Or a pillowcase. I don't know what it was, but just like, will they not be able to see me? Jesse was going to walk in my front door and sit down with a sack over his head, and as if they wouldn't know what it was, but
Yeah.
just to be the character, because he's that committed. And he said that he was at home practicing walking with his
He's over there bumping into walls and over
his
kids.
wife was like, check his wife, can you see my face? All this. I'm like,
he's gone full Klatenberg. He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of Dragon Age.
He is. He was determined to drink our milkshakes. When he sent me that, and I'm sitting at a table with a bunch of people that I cannot tell them what I just received. Like, my heart was bursting with whatever RPG love of what I was bursting with it for Jesse. I was just like, this guy was sent from heaven. So it's like at 2 minutes or something before he's supposed to pull in my driveway. For all I know, he is out there at this moment. Yeah, not right now, but I mean at that moment, and he might be out there. And they start getting up to go to the bathroom. There's no way they're going to walk to the bathroom and not see him sitting in my driveway. And it is freaking me out because it had been 2 years and 7 months since this guy got kidnapped. And I did not want it ruined. And I'm like messaging him. I message him and say, no, they're going to the bathroom. And he's like, I'm driving past or whatever. And he we worked it out. Basically, long story short, I was like, it's okay. Then I'm like, no, it's not. Somebody else is going.
Yeah, I was
Finally,
now from
Cliff's messaging also at the same time.
I'm outside out front, or I'm at the grill at my house, so I look over and I can see his van sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, there's Jesse. It's happening right now.
On the scene. Yeah, I said, come on in, and when I saw him come in the door, revealed it, they were just dumbfounded. He came in, sat down. The only thing, they were so excited, like I had told him don't talk or whatever, and it was tough for us. They wouldn't leave him alone. They were just like, oh, how you been? They haven't seen him and all this. So it was fine. I don't care about that stuff. And they would talk over him like he's got this momentous moment. He's going to like speak finally. And then you think these guys gave a shit. No, they didn't. It was fine. Everything went off without a hitch. Everybody had fun. They're so excited. Like we literally, the one kid, Eric's kid he's the one who went to the Army several years ago. Now he's moving to Nevada, and this was going to be his last session before moving cross country. Well, he sent a message a few days later. We have to play one. I've got to. He does not want to leave without getting to play again. He's like, is there any way we can fit in another session before I leave? So we're having an emergency session. And this is another Klatenberg Eve that we're living right now, because Sunday we're playing again, just so Jake can be around for a full session with Klempt. And so everybody's digging it. It was a super good time. I still are we going to have any more Magnum, or Cliff? Do you ever want to get in on this?
I don't know.
We'll see.
I just need to know. You always refer to him as Klempt. Did the guys playing know that whole
story?
They
have no idea. No.
No. Okay. I assume that would break the realism of the game.
No, he's Kennedron. The name is Kennedron. That's what they know him as. Okay. They desperately tried to.
Because I'm sure they don't listen to the podcast, because no one does.
One of them occasionally does. Oh, okay. But anyway, they said they were desperate to convince him while we were like, I was like getting out a set piece to put on the table. So they're talking amongst themselves, and they were desperately trying to tell Jesse that we really have been looking for you. Look what I wrote on my paper. So-and-so has Jesse. We hate her. Yada, they're trying to sell to him. Like, they feel so bad that they've never found him, as if I don't control the whole thing. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, great. Just a good time. We're back on. We're playing what normally would be monthly, but now we're having this halfway through emergency session. Anyway, Magnum still is, and he's been sick. I've not spoken for you. Like I don't want to speak for that guy. So he's been like magically, in a coma and all kinds of crap. TC's been carrying him around. I'm just like if Jordan ever wants to jump back into his body, he's there. I've been moving him locations with them.
Oh boy.
Exactly that. Anyway, good stuff. It's happening. So, we're here to talk about TV, though, right? This is TV time.
TV.
What in the good Lord is going on?
Nothing. Them just some fellas I play car pranks with.
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die.
There are no strings on me.
So if you want to make more money and
Keep the money that you make?
better call Saul.
He looks like a panda and a Disney princess had a baby.
Somebody royally forked up. Somebody forked up.
Randall! Okay, stay in your room!
First, I thought you and the others were gods. Then I realized you're just men. And I know men.
You guys, look at my dirty girl.
Roll on snare drum. Curtain. Good joke.
It's back, baby. Big Brother. It's happening right now. I don't know if you know this, while we've been recording for the last few hours, I'm watching Big Brother. I've got it on the quad cam here. Paramount Plus.
To the live feeds.
Yeah, it used to be CBS All Access.
Yeah.
You used to only be able to watch online, the live feeds, and CBS All Access, you still could only watch it online. But this is the first year, now there's Paramount Plus, that the technology is good enough that you can watch it on the app on your smart TV or whatever. And so it works finally. It's much easier to watch. So it makes it much more watchable. And this season is all new people, a lot of fans. This was, if you recall, last year was All-Stars. It didn't go over real well. And also they caught a lot of heat for never having good representation from minorities. And they were going to shake things up and try to fix it. And I mean, they did it. It is, at least half of the people are some sort of minority. And that's what we're hoping for, that they, have a chance to not be just voted out by a big alliance of, white people.
Yeah.
But
that's white people are. There's a history of white people doing that.
I was expecting no white people. No white people this year. That was going to be the thing. No white people.
No, but what's amazing is it's fantastic. Like, this is starting off like one of the best seasons ever, and there's so much culture in there, so many different people, and
Frenchie,
yeah, Frenchie's a waste. This guy he was the first guy. He's a farmer. He's a performative wokeness, I would call for this guy. He's the guy going in there. I'm not voting. I'm not going to vote out a woman or someone of color. I'm just like, okay. Everybody's looking at, all those people are looking at him like, what? What are you talking about? He's just, and of course he put up a woman. He nominated a woman and a guy, and they were both people of color. Like, he just totally threw that out the window. But anyway, there's a lot of good people, a lot of fans in there that know how to play the game, and there's a couple people that are just excellent, kind of doing things behind the scenes. There's one girl, Tiffany, who's a phlebotomist, and she's great and funny and talks to the camera and tells people what she's doing. And there's another girl that was actually an alternate. One of the girls that was announced that was going to be in it wears a wig because she has some sort of health problem and she had no hair. And so she was going to wear a wig and just, like have that be a reveal somewhere down the line. But she had a false positive COVID test. And thankfully she did not have COVID. It was a false positive, but it got her kicked off the show because it was right when the show was getting ready to start. So they replaced her with this other girl who actually is great and knows the game. And anyway, starting out, it was a very chaotic first week because of French Fry. He's a dummy. But there's a lot of good players in there, and it looks like it's going to be a good season. So
I watched about 10 minutes of 2 different episodes, just trying to get a feel for it. So I knew if you were going to dive into this, I would at least know a few of the names.
Yes. And
I immediately, what was the first thing I watched? Was people complaining about this Frenchie guy who had blown up every alliance and screwed up his game, and he was terrible and he ruined everything.
He's awful.
And then I see this Whitney girl.
Yeah.
I immediately have a crush on. And then I find out she doesn't believe Sandy Hook was real.
Yeah, she's a Sandy Hook denier. Yeah.
So I thought, well, maybe not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one of the people that we don't like very well.
Wow.
Yeah. That ended pretty quickly. And then her nipple popped out apparently last night.
I have no idea.
The people of Reddit were on the case trying to figure out if it was
good.
really, if that really
the people
happened.
Reddits have never seen a nipple.
Or if it was just a shadow. It was either a shadow from her dress or a pasty that she was wearing underneath her shirt. But the people of Reddit cracked it that when they re-aired it on Paramount Plus, they had cropped her scene.
Oh,
okay. Like they cropped it from the neck up. So it's like it had to be a nipple. They edited it.
It was
so
a false
it was a very
nipple.
exciting moment.
It was a false nipple slip.
Yeah. Wow, I missed all that controversy somewhere along the line,
we are currently in my household. We are on our only 2-week break from volleyball season for my.
Are we watching Big Brother?
No. Close. My daughter has discovered, with the lack of volleyball in her life, she has discovered Survivor on Netflix.
Yeah.
And she binge watched.
What seasons are on there?
She just watched the last one. Because I remembered you talking about it and Boston Rob and all that stuff.
Oh, the Winners at War.
Yeah. And so she
started with that?
Yeah.
With the all-stars of people she doesn't know?
Yes.
I want to curate a list of seasons for her.
But yeah, she's all into it right now.
I love Survivor.
She's never watched that type of reality show before. So it's kind of all new to her. So the concept of it.
Yeah, I could tell her what the good seasons are, but
yeah, she's pretty excited about it.
She needs to go back and get the history of Survivor before you go, then come back and watch that season again and get all the references.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
Good.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what seasons are available or if all of them.
Yeah, I know there's a limited number that are available, but if you
run into the living room, Dad, Richard Hatch is a snake or a rat. Which is it?
Which is it? Yeah.
Probably before she was born. That episode probably was before 14?
Oh my God.
100%. That was a decade before she was born.
Yeah.
That's maybe not quite that, but those people were icons.
That was probably about the time Cooper was born.
Yeah. It was like 2000 something.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, totally. Good. You got to start there. Richard Hatch made, it might not still be around if he hadn't been what he was. So anyway, I'm game for Survivor talk all day, but we have a lot of other stuff we've been watching. A show that started this week again, the third season of, that I know Jordan, I'm sure, is watching also.
Oh, yeah.
Is the third incarnation of Miracle Workers.
There is a better place for all of us. Oregon.
Coming July 13th to TBS. Across the uncharted American West, our intrepid pioneers set out for a new start and new adventures on the Oregon Trail.
Oh my God, Benny, a bald eagle! Ah! You just killed America!
This July.
How awesome is this? Open land, sense of adventure.
There's a bear behind you!
We're looking for an outlaw. Goes by the name of Benny the Teen.
I don't recognize him at all. Handsome guy, though. Beautiful mustache. Hope you catch that sexy outlaw.
Are you ladies women of the night?
It's the 1840s. The preferred term is whores.
Sorry, didn't mean to offend you. Whores?
I'll be right. A new adventure begins.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe as Reverend Ezekiel Brown.
Which way is west?
This is an anatomical drawing of a horse.
That explains a lot.
Steve Buscemi as Benny the Teen.
You'll never catch me.
Karan Soni as the Gunslinger. John Bass as Todd Aberdeen. And Geraldine Viswanathan as Prudence.
This is classic Oregon Trail. Get hype.
Stick your hands up where the sun don't shine.
You want me to stick my hands up my butt?
What?
It's where the sun don't shine. That would be my butt.
That is what you said. Give me a break for a second. This is my first time sticking somebody up. I'm very nervous.
Miracle Workers, Oregon Trail. Premieres July 13th on TBS.
So what was the Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail.
I was very excited. I had this on my phone calendar. I was like, I can't wait for the Oregon Trail.
There's nothing. It's not the funniest thing or the best thing, but there's nothing like it on TV, and I think it fills a nice niche of the comedy world.
Yeah, it does that same thing that like American Horror Story did, where you use the same cast, but they all play different roles.
Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter,
Right.
Steve Buscemi, a couple of other character actors you'd recognize from other comedy shows, but. Yeah, this one the first one was Steve Buscemi was God in a like a company. The heaven was a company, an office. The second one was set in medieval times. So this one is the Old West.
No, you got to say what he was in the second one. That was what I was laughing at. I can't wait to see how you're going to describe him in the second season. He was a
sanitation worker.
He was a shit shoveler. Which is great. He goes from God to a shit shoveler, and what is he this time? What's his name?
He's Billy the Teen. Much like
I laughed out loud when I saw he's Billy the Teen.
Notorious wanted outlaw, Billy the Teen, which he's the famous meme, hey fellow kids, that kind of
thing. Right, exactly. It's perfection. He's moonlighting as a Oregon Trail guide.
So Daniel Radcliffe is like a preacher in a small town that's dying off, and they need to head west where there's fortunes to be made. So he hires, very ill-advised, Billy the Teen to lead them there.
Good stuff. It's exactly what we were expecting after the last couple seasons, and that's exactly what we wanted. So looking forward to that.
It's more absurdist comedy. We a second season of I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
That's the only thing that is making me wish I had Netflix, because I watched the first season and really liked it, and I'm missing out on a lot of memes.
Yeah, I had never watched the first season, but I had it recommended to me. Jared showed me a clip, the one
the hot dog.
Well, that one's the famous one. He showed me the song "Follow My Lead" and the skeletons come out of their graves. That whole thing. So I had a taste of it. I knew kind of what it was, but it's very short. They're just 6 episodes, and each one is between 15 and maybe 18 minutes long. So like there is no filler here whatsoever. It is just the cream of the crop stuff. Right. So it's very short.
He failed on SNL. Like he was on SNL and they got rid of him. Like he just didn't. He flopped. And it's just shows that
I can see him very like Kyle Mooney sort of humor, like the very absurd that may not.
Your brother hates Kyle Mooney, and I like Kyle Mooney.
There's
like
no one he hates more than Kyle.
He hates Kyle Mooney. I've seen him make multiple comments about it, and I think Kyle Mooney. There is some funny there, like.
But I feel like he is more like the Adult Swim type humor, the Tim and Eric style, the absurd like anti-comedy thing, and this. This show on Netflix, it edges right up to that. I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season. I was thinking, this is too, like, I don't really like that kind of humor. And it was getting real close to it. And then in the 3rd episode, Tim Heidecker has a scene. Like, this is directly from Adult Swim. So there are a few of those where it's just like, let's put an old guy in a wig and a funny sweater, and like, we'll find some humor in that somewhere. But that's the lazy side of that kind of humor. But this show, Tim Robinson does something extra, and it's hard to describe. Like, sketches take a strange turn where you think they're going one way and they go another way, or they really commit to this logic. There's an episode with the gift receipts. They're having like a baby shower. He wants the gift receipts, and you think this guy's being an idiot talking about these gift receipts, and then like everyone in the room starts being obsessed with the gift receipts, and it's like. It's, the normal way a sketch comedy would go is see how outrageous this one character would go. Or this one's like, let's have everyone go this whole direction. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's something else. It may not be for everybody, but there was it was like several years ago the first season was, so it was a long time between seasons. So I'm guessing they put a lot of time and effort into these, but.
he's not on social media or anything. Like he does, and he does an interview about the show. Like he just does it and then walks away and doesn't talk about it. What else you watching?
There was another debut, Wellington Paranormal. Do we know that one?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That is the spin-off of What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
So in the film What We Do in the Shadows, there's a scene where 2 police officers show up.
Yeah.
And they're like dead bodies on the floor and blood everywhere. And like, now you're gonna want to clean that up. Yeah, it's a very good scene. So these 2 characters, they've plucked them out of the movie and given them their own show.
Right.
And it
I
aired.
had heard they were gonna make that. Yeah.
Yeah, it aired in New Zealand 3 years ago, and they've done like 19 episodes already, and it just now finally came to America. I'm sure the success of the show has had something to do with that. But it's on the CW. But then I also saw it on HBO Max. So
I don't have to watch that on my phone anymore.
Yeah.
My smart TV I bought has a CW app. They finally worked that out. So I'm
I
I'm
saw it on
hyped because in just a few weeks.
It's coming. It's coming. I can't wait. Ready.
Oh, you guys.
Sorry, our hype got interrupted.
Reggie, what's his name? Charles Melton or whatever. Yeah. He was the All-Star week for baseball was last week, and he played in the celebrity softball game.
Okay.
And like, you know how Reggie is like stud athlete guy.
Yeah. This guy's terrible.
No, he was not great. He was wearing the batting glove on the wrong hand. He was wearing the batting glove on the throwing hand in the outfield.
Oh my God.
He hit into a double play and like ran through first and fell down past first base.
Wow.
Got up and then got caught in a rundown between first and second base. Fell down again, but there were already 2 outs. So they had already got the third out. He was having a rundown after there had already been 3 outs.
They're trying to go to commercial and Reggie's in a rundown. It was a hilarious prank.
great prank, Reggie. Just kept the cameras on you. So my illusions of him as a star athlete have been.
Well, that's going to be tough, though. The believability of Riverdale's going down. Great. Don't ruin it for us, Reg. Come on.
Wow.
Anyway, finish up your Wellington Paranormal.
Yeah, Wellington Paranormal. So it's set in New Zealand. It has that same kind of very deadpan humor of What We Do in the Shadows, Flight of the Conchords, those kind of things. Which is great, yeah. And so it's the same actors. There's a female cop and a male cop.
Yeah, I can picture her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty short, has a very short haircut. He's tall. Oh, actually, he says we're like the Mulder and Scully of the police force because you're intelligent and analytical, and I'm a guy with brown hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has an X-Files feel to it. Even the theme song feels like a jazzed up version of X-Files or a very Cops feel. Where, they talk directly to the camera, and they're like, a lot of strange phenomena are going on tonight. But they're oblivious to everything that's going on, or they don't quite know what. There's a possessed girl with glowing eyes who's talking. I am Bazul of the unliving. Right, yeah. Like I had a bit too much tonight, sir. Like that kind of like
Ghostbustery. I know what I was thinking. Wasn't there was supposed to be a werewolf show? They were gonna werewolves.
They're with Rhys Darby was supposed to do that as well. But it took this one 3 years to get.
Right, it might be happening for all we know.
So they premiered 2 episodes on the first night. I think the first season's just 6, and it's going to take a little while to find their footing, but it made me laugh really hard a couple of times. So I love What We Do in the Shadows, so I'll stick around for the rest of these for sure.
Well, I assume I'm sure you said, but I assume it's on FX or something like that.
CW, and I saw it on
I'm sorry.
I saw it on HBO Max, which I don't know that they're always have. I don't know what deal that was.
Well, I had both of those. So
at least this first couple episodes.
Stuff pops up on HBO Max all the time, and I'll pull it up, and I'm like, "This is on here."
Yeah, when did that's what? It's kind of annoying how often I kind of obsessively check it now because I don't want to miss that some random thing popped up there.
Yeah,
Super Friends freaked me out. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Meanwhile, on HBO Max,
I watched some Super Friends.
The Pop Culture Podcast. So speaking of HBO Max, the White Lotus is a show that came out of nowhere.
The goal is to disappear behind our masks as pleasant, interchangeable helpers. It's tropical kabuki.
Aloha. Happy to be here.
We're on our honeymoon. You're such valued guests. Welcome to the White Lotus.
Are they bigger?
Nicole, they're huge.
I haven't seen them in a while.
It's cancer.
Swole balls. Do they biopsy your balls, Dad?
Not yet.
Surprise! Am I interrupting? I know it's only your honeymoon. Oh my God, look at her face. Rachel, you were such a beautiful bride, but also very pale. But now you have a little more color and it looks great.
Thanks. You are so talented. Oh, do you really know what you're doing? You think you could have dinner with me at the hotel tonight? I get off at 7? Yeah, that's good. I mean, like a couple minutes after 7 at the restaurant. Sounds great.
Did either of you watch that?
I did. I watched the first episode.
Yeah, it was just like out of nowhere. I'd not heard anything about it, and suddenly there was a first episode of that, and it has a it's got plop.
I was so distracted by plop, and then the guy's ball shot that I don't know what happened.
Okay, first off, I want to say that I watched the first episode and I didn't see that part.
My God,
I missed that.
Why are you missing all these body parts?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed the nip. Now I miss Steve Zahn's sack.
You got to get a 70-inch TV like in my.
I've got a huge TV in here. I just bought a TV for the bedroom. It's enormous. But I was like, I don't know. I looked down or something, but I remember her talking about I remember the scene. I just never saw that. So when somebody was talking about it, I was like, am I going to go back to see this? Like, that was a real conundrum for me. Like, am I going to make an effort to go back? And I did. I just, full disclosure, I did. I went back and I regretted it immediately. I was like, first off, why did this happen? 2, I didn't think his balls were that big.
Well,
the whole thing was about his balls being super big. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think they're that big.
It totally shocked me. And like, I don't know what kind of expression I had on my face, but my wife looked at me. She's like, were you surprised by that? And I was like, yeah, weren't you? She's like, nah, you've seen one pair of balls. You've seen them all. And I was just like, all right, moving on.
Yeah, I just, whatever. Anyway, it seems to be like a classist show. It's like a bunch of people, almost like, at first I got a Fantasy Island vibe. Like, they're all going to this island. It's a bunch of different people. And I expected it to be like that. And it may still, but it really seems like the vibe is this is a very elite resort to go to. And all the the guests are like super rich or something.
Yeah, there's Stifler's mom, and then you got
Stifler's mom is there.
You got the guy from Daddy Daycare, and then Plop.
Who's that guy? Who's it?
The guy that showed the ball guy.
Oh, Steve Zahn. I don't think of him as that. If that's his claim to fame,
that's his one job right there. I'm just calling it. That's his one job. He was
at least Sahara. We gotta do Steve Zahn now. We're doing Steve Zahn. I think he'd make a good Beastmaster. But anyway, it's got Connie, whatever her name is, from Friday Night Lights, Nielsen, I think, and anyway, all the characters have a lot of money, or they wouldn't be going to this. And the hotel people, it's got kind of a Downton Abbey thing where you get to see the staff and how the things they're trying to deal with to present these people with a great experience. Their rich kids are crappy and kind of stereotypical buttholes and that kind of stuff. But I really don't know where it's going. It seems like whatever the concept is, we don't know it yet. We don't know where they're going. But I like that HBO is pumping out these shows that are so far are things that I'm like, I'll watch this. I'm interested to see where this goes. Hopefully I don't have to find out exactly what's going on with that much detail. about Steve Zahn's sack.
Yeah, definitely.
I was unconcerned. Like Connie, so I was like, you look like you're fine.
Yeah.
Dude, you'll be all right.
Well, I don't think it would have been so bad, but it's the last couple weeks. The big thing on Netflix that had everybody talking was that new sex life show. And it's got a moment in episode 3 that people are reacting to, very similar anatomy shot that is shocking to some people.
Shocking.
And yeah.
To some people.
Yeah.
Seth missed it. He watched that episode but didn't.
I watched it. I watched this porn the other day and I didn't see anything. I was like, this pizza looks great. What else? What else are you watching, guys? Come on.
Rick and Morty was back for season 5.
What are you watching it on?
Just cable.
Yeah, I don't have cable.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode was released to try to draw people in, and I liked it, but I don't get whatever you need to get to watch the rest of it till the season's over.
Morty, get ready for some fireworks. Little out of character to say this right now, but you guys look really cool. So let's do it. Come get some. The door! Open the door! Rick! Is it... Morty, will you stop trying to... Everybody attack one at a time.
Is that the best way to...
Tee up something awesome? Yes. God, why does everyone go cyberpunk bird? Is this why you wanted to get out of town? You think I'd lie to you about why we're on vacation, Morty? I wouldn't lie to you. Well, that's a lie. Huh. What have we become? Why are we doing this anymore?
Because it's fun, you little rat.
Morty, this is gonna sound bad, but would you trust me not to kill you?
Huh. Well, I don't nearly have the time to unpack this.
New Rick and Morty starting Sunday, June 20th at 11 p.m.
Oh my God! Come on, let's go!
On Adult Swim.
Yeah, the last couple seasons have been okay. I haven't really been into them.
Agree.
But this season has been very strong.
Yeah, the first episode I really liked.
Yeah, the first episode with Mr. Nimbus. It was like a Namor takeoff.
Yeah, exactly. He was definitely Namor.
A foppish, dandy, king of the sea guy. And it was just so ridiculous. But Rick has some history with him that we never know. Like, of course, it's Mr. Nimbus, and you're just supposed to know what that means. Episode 2 was a very Rick and Morty episode of Rick has created a decoy family. So if someone's going to come after him, he gets an alert that somebody killed the decoy family. Okay, well, guys, we got to get out and go because somebody killed the decoy family. We have a decoy family, and then that family gets killed. Like, crap, that was the decoys of the decoys.
Right.
And by the end of it, it's ridiculous. Everyone's dying. There's a million different versions of every character, and it's very out there, but it was really clever.
I like it.
And the third one, Morty falls in love with Planetina, a Captain Planet ripoff, voiced by Alison Brie, who in the 90s was created by these lovable multiracial group of children.
Alison Brie was?
Yeah, so she became Planetina to help the Earth, and now they're all middle-aged scumbags who are like do not share the same environmental mission. So Morty falls in love with her. So every episode so far has been really strong, especially compared to the last couple seasons. So I'm hyped for it.
Cool. The Hustler's back.
Oh, the game show?
Yeah, have you watched any of season 2?
Yeah. I just feel like it's manipulative. Like it tries to lead you like in it can't be this guy, or it definitely feels like this guy, and then it's like, oh no, it was this lady. And
Odin's like, whatever.
Yeah.
There's no way. I've watched it. I think I may have missed the second episode. I watched the first and the third, maybe. I don't know, but I was able to guess this latest episode. But usually you just aren't. It's edited in such a way you don't have the information that the people in the room have. It's fine, whatever. At least he quit acting like he'd never been to a drive-through bank.
The pneumatic tube is quite an invention.
Jeez, he's so excited about that.
Yeah, but the characters have become like, oh, it was this person worked for the CIA, or this person owns 50 parakeets, or like it's not like it's everything's so abnormal with that show. It's like, how does anyone fit any of these?
I was accepted to every Ivy League school. It's like, well, okay, anybody here could have it. You don't know. I don't know. I'm up to the 6th episode of Kevin Can F Himself. That show, and which I think it was one of the strongest episodes. It's such a. The dark is so dark that I don't know. There's something about the mood of the show that they can't nail down because they're going between two different things. But it was a very clever episode in the fact that they do these episodes that you've seen a million times.
Yeah.
In a sitcom.
I watched the first couple episodes of it. This is the Annie Murphy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
the guy that's got the Sandy Duncan thing going.
Yeah.
But he I like to call it the Magnum thing. the Tom Selleck thing. But this latest episode, it's every year on his birthday, he always goes out to dinner with her, and he thinks that she doesn't know that he always runs next door to the arcade and meets his best friend, the neighbor there, and he thinks that he's fooling them both, and she knows it's a great idea. Like, it's all zany fun for him, but it's like dark for her, and meanwhile she's been trying to murder him the whole show, so it's clever. I enjoy it, but it's strange.
So I haven't seen that one yet. I was up to the new Patty episode where John Glazer came in as a replacement Patty, which is another sitcom trope of like a new gang member. But it clicked with me one scene where she was talking about how she got a job and Kevin thought she was having an affair with the boss and got her fired. And that clicked of like, oh, that's what I want this show to be. That's such a sitcom plot. Kevin thinks she's having an affair with her boss, and she's not. It's just a misunderstanding. Right. But like, to her, that was like, she got a job and she was happy, and it was a thing to like. That was like you said, it was dark. Like, he's missing her birthday. He doesn't care about her. That like, I love that juxtaposition between the goofy sitcom thing. The husband just finds it's a lark. It's funny. It's goofy. It doesn't matter. And by the next episode, we've forgotten it. But to her, it's like a traumatic event. And you can apply that to TV shows throughout history of the wacky neighbor. If you had a neighbor that acted like that, you would hate their guts. But, it's a sitcom. So that idea of, like, the stuff that people get away with in sitcoms is not healthy, and it's not a good relationship. So that's the little kernel I'm holding on to for this show of what I hope, and I hope that it aspires to be.
It's resilient through the episode that I just watched. It's exactly that. It's like, this guy's so terrible when you really think about it. It's and just the way he goes about his life and how obnoxious and self-centered he is, and so that seems to be the persistent thing that I hope pays off in the end.
And for decades we've been told, it's fun, boys being boys, and that's a funny personality. Yeah. It's like, no, that person's awful. Stop rewarding that behavior.
I like the idea. I don't know if they're totally gonna pull it off, but I love that they're trying it, because I like the history of the whole sitcom thing, and I like the spin on it.
That's a good segue. History of the sitcom. CNN's doing another one of those things.
Ooh, yeah, I wanted to watch that. It's like best characters, right?
they did a series on history of the movies, and then they did history of late night TV. So now they're currently airing history of the sitcom, an 8-part docuseries. Has over 180 original interviews with actors and comedians and things. So
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, oh my, because when I saw the trailer for it, I was in the mood to watch it.
Yeah.
So then I flipped over and I discovered it hadn't aired yet, the part, the first part or whatever, and I was like totally disappointed. So I need to go back and find it now. So
yeah, I really want to try to find a way to watch that because that's my jam.
I said any of those things, talking heads talking about pop culture and showing clips and tracing the history. The first one was about families, and it was the Donna Reed show and Leave It to Beaver up through the Huxtables in the 80s and Modern Family in the 90s and 2000s. So like I love looking back on that pop culture and drawing threads between it and hearing the people who were there.
Well, they just released this week Norman Lear's Library or whatever on Amazon Prime. Like pretty much anything that he was a part of, they added all these shows to Amazon Prime that you can watch. So that's really exciting. I can't believe that guy's still around.
Yeah, 90-some years old. Well, Carly and I watched. I was off work one day, and we watched the first couple episodes over on Disney Plus of the new Monsters at Work show. Very cute. Did not feel like a cheap ripoff. The first episode does feature Billy Crystal and John Goodman's voice as Sully and Mike Wazowski. And we were actually like pleasantly surprised how good it was. Like Carly even said, she was like, wow, I can't believe how good the show is. So I think we're definitely on board for it. We're gonna keep watching that. Going into the show, I had assumed it was more like a prequel, like Monsters University was, but it's actually the opposite, and it continues on after the first movie, and they're doing, instead of the scream floor, they're doing the laugh floor now, and it's all about the comedy, and Mike is leading the company to supply kids' laughter to convert to power, storyline from the movie. So it was good though. They had some new characters in it that did not look out of place, and they fit in right with the look of the first two movies. So it was really good. We were impressed.
Carly sounds like she's angling for a podcast of her own. She's got a lot of opinions.
Carly.
She got a lot of
many opinions.
Yeah, she's got a lot on her plate, but she's been this summer she's been watching a lot of stuff.
Yeah. She's gonna have a Jeff Probst poster on her wall.
Yeah, that's all she needs is one more poster.
Yeah. What's in Carly's room?
What's in her room?
What posters? Who she got? Let's try to guess. See if we get one thing on there.
I know she's got some records taped up there. She's got Rocky Horror Picture Show.
She does. She does indeed. Wow. She's got some records up there. She has
no Fonzie, but
no Fonzie. Not there yet. It'll come. One wall she has like this, I don't know, this picture thing where you clothespin
Jonas Brothers.
No, you clothespin your own pictures to it. So she has a lot of her stuff up there.
BTS.
No.
BTK.
No. On one wall,
BK. She's got the king.
The king. On one wall, she has the picture thing. On another wall, she has a big tapestry. Just like one of those. I don't know. It's just a big
the tiki room.
No, no. And then she has a poster of Rosie the Riveter.
Okay,
that's in there.
Yeah.
And I think she's got some more pictures and stuff up from like her friends and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. She's actually
no teeny boppers.
No, not at all. Not a one.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's an old soul.
Apparently, Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter.
You can't get much older soul than that.
Nope.
Let's put Moses up there. The only other thing I've been watching, whenever there's a hole in my schedule of shows, is, I've been going back watching these shows that I only watched once that I loved, like I did The Sopranos and The Wire, and I started rewatching Rescue Me. Did you guys ever watch any Rescue Me? I didn't figure, but it's that Dennis Leary show that came out shortly after 9/11, where they played New York firemen, and it's very crude, but trying to, have these guys deal with, the aftermath of 9/11, but still it's just a funny, kind of dark relationship show, but he sees dead people, basically. He sees all these people that died in fires and friends and things like that constantly appear to him. And I just I've always loved that show. I watched it and loved it, and I'm loving the rewatch. Some of it doesn't age well. Some of it's, very 20 years ago, as far as political correctness, I guess, but not too bad, but it's just a good, funny show. Bunch of guys shooting the shit and giving each other hell.
Well, you also just watched The Commish.
No.
Not The Commish, the other one.
No,
Chickless.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I'm glad
the
you said
Chickless,
that.
Yeah.
Now I'm picturing Chickless as the Beastmaster. No, it was The Shield. Yeah, I had never seen it, so it wasn't really a rewatch. But yeah, that was good. Now I'm trying to watch these shows that are supposed to be. That's one of the great shows. But Rescue Me is one of my faves of all time, and I am enjoying the rewatch. About halfway through. That's about it. The only thing, unless you guys have something else, there's the one big finale we haven't got to.
Yeah, we have the one biggie from Disney Plus, the finale to Marvel's Loki. Episodes 5 and 6 we have yet to talk about.
So,
I thought it got better. I thought it got better.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. I was interested. I was absorbed in it. I enjoyed it.
I did. I like timey-wimey, but I don't really know what
happened. Well, okay. So spoilers for Loki, because I'm sure at some
I
point
love the score. I love the score, and I love how it looks. But I like Tom Hiddleston. But if I see that guy flip his hair back one more time, it's just this whip back thing he does, that they just rely on. And I'm sure that when they film it days apart, each of those things will all smush together in an episode of him flipping his hair back 27,000 freaking times. Gets annoying. Sorry.
You're not a teen girl with Tom Hiddleston on the walls.
That's right. Not. We can see your wall. We can see there's nothing there.
No Tom Hiddleston. Somebody Photoshop one in here.
So episode 5 was the void, right? They had been zapped with the sticks and sent into the void where we didn't know where these variants went. We thought
we got to see the Crocagator and
all the alternate versions were there. Lots of Easter eggs in this one. Everyone was talking about the Thanos copter.
Yeah.
Does everyone know that? That's such an obscure little piece of Marvel, but it's become such a meme. It feels like everyone knows that.
I didn't know anything about it until this, and then I saw afterwards.
Yeah. So early appearance of Thanos before he had godlike power. He was flying in a helicopter with the word Thanos written down the side of it, fighting Spider-Man or something. So, a very silly Silver Age sort of thing. So that the Thanos copter was there. There were a bunch of references, ships that we've seen before, and then the ship from the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
And the the Thor frog.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of little stuff that hasn't been in. There haven't been a whole lot of Easter eggs in this show for a time travel-y, multi-dimensional show. So this one kind of squeezed them all into one episode.
Yeah. One thing I'll definitely say. First off, I'm sorry I can't remember the guy's name again that played old Loki.
Oh.
Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
Yes, I like him. And again, this is proof what I was arguing before, that those classic costumes look freaking great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put some Scarlet Witch and some Ozymandias and some old Loki and put those costumes look great. And everybody was scared to do it and put all the X-Men in leather.
Yeah.
But when we get some X-Men back, you might as well slap all the colors you want to, because it looks freaking great.
Wider shoulders, the better.
All the shoulder pads.
Exactly.
Oh man. Metal arms and shoulder pads.
That's the main thing I took away from everything, was how that stuff holds up.
Yeah, he definitely stood out, like, for the whole series for me. Just that little cameo was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. To the fact I was like, season 2 should just be him. Like, forget Hiddleston. Like, let's just follow this guy around in his, new universe or whatever. So
I wonder if that kid's gonna show up in like these Young Avengers if they do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He could be. I mean, there's a Loki character, right? Isn't there? It's been so long since I read Heinberg's. I was thinking there was like a Loki, maybe not
variant.
Yeah, like because they had like an Iron Lad and Patriot, kid, and Hulkling and all them. I don't know why I was thinking there was some sort of Loki kid, but maybe not. There's been a different version since then that I didn't read at all. Karen Gillan's or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, the gist of the whole thing was what we thought it was. A lot of people thought it would be. It was just, a way to get to the multiverse. So they did it.
I swear, I feel stupid. Like, I watched that last episode and I enjoyed it. And seeing Kang was cool. I like him. I like, I like that. But Michael Scott explained it to me like I'm 5. What was the point? Like,
we need to sit across from each other at a desk or a table and explain the plot like this.
As much as exposition as there was, why don't I know or care what is happening?
If I rewatch the show, it will be with a stopwatch to keep track of how many minutes are spent from the first episode with Mobius and he sitting at a computer desk explaining what a variant is, to this last episode that is 40 minutes of him explaining the multiverse. And like, we're talking about a multiversal war. What could be more exciting and visual?
Right.
And we're doing it sitting at a table talking about it. Like, that's this show's crutch. All 6 episodes featured too much of that. But again, I'm not quite sure it really explained it all that well.
No, it didn't. It didn't. I was just like glazed over watching it.
So yeah, then we get to the castle at the end of time, right? We get past the guard dog and the void. We get to where we're going. The man behind the curtain. This Wizard of Oz. We're going to finally see. We're going to see who's behind the curtain, and it's Jonathan Majors, who we know he's been cast as Kang.
Yeah.
Here he's called He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And he explains that he is some kind of scientist who cracked the multiverse.
Yeah.
And found there's a bunch of different versions of him.
Yeah.
And it was all good at the beginning, and they all helped each other out, and then it all went sideways, and there was a giant war.
Oh, one of him is in the Young Avengers, right? A son of his or something? Or
him.
It's him,
Iron,
right?
Isn't he Iron Lad?
Yeah, it's him. Okay.
So yeah, there's versions of him that are good and evil. There's it's a multiverse. It could be anything. So he is the one who remains. There's only one of him left, and he set up the TVA to keep everything pruned back, and so that it won't happen again, right? So he's been there for millions of years. And,
one timeline.
Yeah. So do you believe him or not? That's the idea of like Sylvie thinks there should be free will and we should be free to live our lives how we want without interference, and Loki's not quite sure, right? So
right,
and then so Kang wins either way. He either stays the boss or he gets to die and let his suffering end, I guess. So I think Jonathan Majors is a good actor. I was not into that version of him, like eating an apple and being silly and goofy. And I'm like, I had to keep reminding myself, when we see him again, he's not going to be this guy.
Right.
This is that million-year-old last Immortus, maybe that version of Kang.
Right.
So when we see him again, we might get a more evil version, or that could be the fun, that he could be a different character every time he pops up, I guess. I'm clinging to that.
I hope,
he's not this talkative goofball.
Yeah, where I got lost in it was the cloud. The big purpley Galactus cloud.
Goliath, I think they call it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
Because when
it looked great. I mean, the effects were great.
Yeah, but when I saw it,
was great.
I was like, Fantastic Four, Galactus cloud.
Yeah.
And it just took me out of it for a while before I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, what is this? Is this?
They had to hold hands with it, and
I
don't know what.
So, anyways, so
it's over.
Yeah, they killed him, and he didn't know what was going to happen up until only to that point. He didn't know what was going to happen after that. She kills him. Loki ends up in a different universe because she sends him off, and it's not the universe he thinks he's in because everything is all different. And we see the statue of Kang at the TVA.
Yeah.
And so, that's the big dramatic moment that they don't recognize him anymore.
Right.
So we've created a new reality.
Mobius doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, is it a reality that Kang has conquered?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something like, I don't know what we've set up, but it's different somehow.
And so as far as we know, Sylvie is stuck in the thinking house or whatever that was. And now there's infinite universes out there of all different versions, much like DC. So,
and we learned the Renslayer, the clue with the pen. She was like a middle school principal or something.
Yeah.
Which again, that there wasn't a lot of punch to that, but it was they played it like an aha moment, and it was just okay.
It did nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it. I thought it looked good and sounded good, but I could not pay enough attention to follow or care.
Did you see the nudity part?
No, I missed it. Should I go back?
The alligator was nude the whole time.
What? He had a hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, we did it.
So this seems like a major turning point. Like if this is where all the rest of these Marvel movies, the Doctor Strange movie, the Spider-Man, like this seems to have been an important chapter.
I guess.
It was all just kind of set up. Yeah.
How, are you supposed to have to have understood all this to watch the movies? Because I would hope you could do the movies without this. Yeah. Well, I don't think you need to know all this to do the movies.
I had wondered that because I was like, okay, we had WandaVision, and they went back after WandaVision, the final episode had aired, and they redid that last scene with her in the cabin, and had added Doctor Strange in there floating through the scene, and changed that. And then I was like, okay, we had that, so you had to have watched that before the Doctor Strange movie to know that what was happening with her. And now
but
we've
I
got this mess.
I wonder how much they'll double up and like.
Well, that's what I was meaning. I was like, are they gonna? Is there gonna be the Star Wars scroll at the beginning of Doctor Strange explaining all of this?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Every time Kang shows up, he can have a half-hour monologue about who he is and where he came from.
Yeah,
explain it to everybody.
So
well,
I hope there's a version of Kang out there where when his mother is pregnant with him, this evil like witch doctor thing comes and takes the baby out of her and puts it in a cow and then that's how he's born, and he becomes Kang the Beastmaster.
That was a long way to go for him. I was hanging on every word.
I'm listening. I thought he was going Skrull.
Do you guys not remember the Beastmaster? That's how.
No, not well enough. I don't remember him being born from a cow. Is
yes. Oh, Rip Torn, man.
I thought this was a Skrull reference. I thought for sure.
Mm-mm.
I thought it was. I hadn't watched Lovecraft Country. That was some weird.
Yeah.
I didn't finish Lovecraft Country.
It's not coming back for season 2. I can tell you that.
It started out good, and then it started to get boring. But Loki is, so I hope you loved it because you're getting another season.
Yep, there was no post-credit scene, just a little card that says Loki will return for season 2, which didn't seem like it was in much doubt. But
I didn't realize that was going to happen. I would think that's a mess. This stuff is going to be a mess once the movies start coming out.
Poochie went
trying
back
to deal
to
with
his
all
home
this.
planet.
We'll see.
All right.
Well, I gotta watch live feeds all night here, so
good luck.
I gotta finish getting ready for Dragon Age tomorrow, and they're coming Sunday. And it's constant excitement around here. See all the excitement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta put on some CC Music Factory.
Pump up the jam.
That's not them.
Was that not them?
That's Salt and Pepper.
Oh, that's right.
No, it's not. Is it? No, they're pushing.
No.
Pump Up the Jam is that one girl.
They were pushing.
Pump Up the Jam.
Yeah.
What's Pump Up the Jam? Who's that girl? Man, I'll never think of that.
Man.
I can picture her. I'm looking. You signs off.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a good '90s reference to go out on, but I'm blanking. I was a '90s kid, right?
Technotronic.
Technotronic. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed all of that TV talk. No more Loki. What If is the next big Marvel show to come out, so we'll talk some more about that at some point. We'll have more Big Brother when the exciting stuff starts happening.
It's all happening right now, man.
Yeah, it's happening. And we'll talk to you later. Goodbye. My name's Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.
He is pumping fists to CNC Music Factory right now, guaranteed. Guaranteed. What is that song? What is their song?
Who?
CNC Music Factory.
Everybody Dance Now.
Yes, that's what it is. He is everybody dancing now, right?
No, he's more of a things that make you go,
If they're True. That's what he's doing. But either one he's on the floor for.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. I forgot about that song. Damn.